They're just young pullets, second day out. They're a little shy. Hey, who put that hay there? What are you doing, you crazy cat? Came out to help us? Not.
His position is purely supervisory.
That's what cats do. Can you find the calf? I'll give you a minute. It's right back there. Feed truck's here, feed truck's here. This is poultry grower for the broilers, the turkeys, and the pullets. Here we go, 3 tons. I get questions once in a while about using these gravity wagons to store feed. It works really well for me. One thing that's really important is the type of tarp you use. You can't use an old style canvas tarp because when it rains, you'll get kind of surface drops dripping off the canvas. It's not completely waterproof. And I had zero luck with the cheap tarps from, say, Home Depot, Lowe's, Tractor Supply. They last a few months and then they come to pieces. The sunlight really degrades them fast. So I use vinyl tarps. These are heavy grade vinyl tarps. I buy them online. They're cut to size and made to fit. I can't remember the weight of vinyl, but it's a very heavy vinyl. These tarps have been on these wagons for probably 7 or 8 years now, and they're still the original tarps, still working fine. I don't have any problems with moldy feed in the wagons. We get a little bit of moisture entering at the seams, and that's inevitable, but it results in very little wastage. Okay, so here's the deal. It's really hot today. It's been hot for as long as I can remember, and I am tired of it. So I am bringing back into style, in my old man fashion sense way, cut-off jeans. They should be in style. Over the knee, of course. None of those really long shorts. How easy is it to make hot weather apparel when you're wearing cut-off jean shorts? Doesn't sound like the cows agree. Okay, that's really not the deal, but I had to have my little rant about that. Hey, it's bull trash talking season. Right, Titus? Hey, big bud. The real deal is that we've gotten about 2.5 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks, and the pastures are greening up and growing again. So we're going to start cycling the cattle over the pastures fairly quickly. This is the kind of growth we're looking at. Alfalfa's starting to go to seed, clover's blooming. We'll get them on, clean this up. And since it's so hot, I'm not going to be running all over the place today. I have a few things to talk about. So while I move the cows, I'm going to yak, and hopefully that'll help keep it interesting. Well, I got to open up this gate here. There we go. I kid you not, they saw me open this gate. They will stand here until I call them in. So that's what I'm going to do now. Come on, cows. Come on, cows. By the way, you don't need to say anything in particular. It doesn't have to be come on, boss. Come on, cows works just fine. It's the tone of voice you use and consistency. That's what's important. Come on, cows. Yes, come on. Get a move on, guys. There's good stuff in here. Come on, cows. Here come the calves. Titus is still over there trash talking Orden, but he's making his way in his own lumbering fashion. It seems like when fall comes, or when fall is approaching, this August weather where the crickets are making noise all day and the tree frogs are starting to whine during the day, I start getting a little more philosophical and talking on the channel more about the way life is, or what my experiences have been anyway. And today I have been, actually for the last couple weeks, been thinking a lot about what it means to be the best and the baggage that comes along with being the best. And I have a couple examples Kids that are interested in sports when they're in school, say you're a really good basketball player at your small high school and you want to be professional, you want to be the best at what you're doing. Well, the deck's kind of stacked against you, isn't it? I mean, you may be the best in your high school, but when you get to college, that's a whole big world to be a good basketball player and be on the college team. And then to go pro and to make a living out of it, well, that's a real long shot. It's kind of like playing the lottery. I was raised to be the best. I think it was something that came from within me, and there are a lot of downsides to trying to be the best. And I guess that the message I'm getting to here is that it's okay not to be the best. It took me probably 30 or 40 years to figure out that there is absolutely no problem with that. Patty, look how round you are. Hi, Titus. Oh my gosh, you're a barrel. And you're hardly pregnant if you've been bred yet. Holy cow! When I was coming up through school, nobody in my family had ever gone to college, and it was kind of implicit that that was the road for me. Well, I think it was implicit starting in 6th grade, because I was a troublemaker until I got to 6th grade and almost got kicked off the bus and out of school and all that kind of stuff. 6th grade, I decided I was going to do well in school and started kind of racing ahead in class. And I had this idea that I was going to be the best. And my graduating class was only 70-some people, so it wasn't that high a goal, really, academically, to do that. And I wasn't the best. I graduated 3rd in my class, but that was good enough for me. And then I went on to college. And college, the school I went to was an incredibly stressful school, one of the best in the country for architecture, and I don't know if I enjoyed that part of college, you know, the architecture part, as I've said in videos later on, but I still wanted to be the best at it because that's who I was. Whatever I engaged in, I wanted to be the best at, and I might not have been the happiest individual, but I took some satisfaction out of, you know, doing the best I could. And again, I graduated 3rd in my class out of architecture school. Chomp down that alfalfa. What's important here about this discussion is not the specifics of my life, but this idea in general that in society you have to be the best, and if you're not the best, you're a failure. And I've often, so many times, talked about polarities, good versus bad, good versus evil, black versus white, whatever it is, you know, that there's a whole shade of gray in between there. So best exists at the one side of the scale, and terrible, terrible, the worst, sits at the other side of the scale. It's perfectly fine to exist in between those. Of course, you always want to do the best you can, but being the best, well, that's a tall order to fill, and usually you're setting yourself up for failure in that endeavor. And that's kind of what I did when I was in architecture. I, started out, rose through the ranks fairly quickly, became a partner 7 years after I started in the field, grew the firm, and always wanted to be the best. And this was the big wide world. This was like going into the pro sports version of coming out of the little high school and being a pro athlete. And when I got into the stuff that I did later in my career, it was kind of a worldwide audience that I was playing to, and the other folks that were doing what I do, we were among the best, but I wasn't the best, and I wanted to be the best, and I set my own self up for failure and realized that that was what had made my life so unhappy, because when you want to be the best at something, you're completely focused on that one thing you want to be the best at, to the detriment or of everything else. You're working all the time trying to be the best. You're getting rid of other parts of your life and other relationships that you should be fostering to create a healthy, well-rounded life. And so becoming the best becomes at the sacrifice of a lot of other really important things. Remember, we've only got half the eaters in this field that we would normally have, because we've got the heifers sequestered so they don't get bred, and we've got Orden's breeding group over in the winter pasture where they have some greens of their own to eat in the winter pasture. Why are you running away from me, guys? They were eating sweet corn husks. When I left my job and Hillary and I started the farm, there was a release of that pressure that I had felt in my old profession. I was able to rebalance my life and bring back in the things that I knew that I loved, that I never had the time for in my quest to, kind of rise to the top of what I was doing. And the world had color again for me. There was so much of that spectrum revealed. Years went by where that was happy. I didn't feel like I was in competition with anybody, with other local farmers or anything. We wanted to make a living off the farm. I was really focused on this small place, and being the best really wasn't in my mind, except for maybe having a line at the farmer's market and selling well, which was not nearly the amount of pressure that I felt in my old job. Uh-oh, what's he gonna do now? Oh, whew, that's not a door, it's a gate. I think it's a door. Closes like a door. It's a door. I know it's a door. This is the best part of having your own garden. Whenever you need a snack, you just come out and you eat the fruits of your labor. Tomatoes are a fruit, You can substitute being a perfectionist for being the best. It's the same kind of curse. You perfectionists out there know what I'm talking about. Being a perfectionist, you're never going to be perfect, so you're always going to be unhappy. Takes a long time to figure that out. So here we are going along on the farm, and things are good. I'm happy. The world's gotten a lot smaller. I can focus on the things in front of me more rather than the things that I can't control. And then I started a YouTube channel. Alrighty, let's get this green cart moved back out to where it should be. Come on. Here we go. You can do it. Well, maybe not. It's only 95 degrees out. Still needs glow plugs. That's what it is with these old D282s. Glow plugs on the hottest day of the year. YouTube is a terrible place to be for a perfectionist because you'll never be perfect. You'll never be the best. I've grown the channel a lot, but I'm not even close to the best, and I never will be. And YouTube's always kind of pushing you, implicitly I would say, rather than overtly, to be the best. And I've decided to back off from that. It makes people unhappy. I know that everybody thinks that YouTube videos are a breeze to make and it's easy money, but frankly, it really is not. And at some point you have to say enough is enough, and I'm happy with what I have. We got a lot of good viewers out there, and I'm very appreciative for that. And I never wanted the channel, heck, the original goal was for it to be 1,000 viewers and then 100,000, and you got to stop someplace, and say, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm going to enjoy the process rather than the metrics that somebody else is showing me. And I'm giving you the example from YouTube, but I gave you the examples from being an athlete, being a musician, being an artist, being a Hollywood star, and being in any profession or any trade. You're always going to run into that. Just that YouTube seems particularly hard, and it's something that frankly I've been through and I don't want to go through again. Hey, that's some nice hay. Shooey, it's so hot out that everything smells like bacon. Hey, little ones. Come in, let's go. Come on, go inside. There you go. The lesson that I'm trying to infer here, at least in my life experience, is that you need to go a little bit easier on yourself than a lot of folks do. And comparing yourself to other people in terms of your relative level of success is a real trap. And it's something that makes a lot of people unhappy. To know what is in your own heart as far as where you feel that you are at the point of success, and being in that place and being able to relax there, and remembering to bring back in all the aspects of your life that make life worth living, is the most important lesson that I can or impart to you. That is so important, and it's one that I often forget myself. Hot days change everybody's behavior around here. The cattle tend to stay in the barn in the shade. Out in the pasture, they'll be in the grove in the shade. The pigs are under the weeds in the shade, and Hillary and I spend the afternoons in the house in the air conditioning. Now, we do have to go out and do chores, but we limit big jobs on days like today. Before I close this video, I wanted to mention a couple things. I'm going to be at the Pageant of Steam in Canandaigua, New York this Friday, August 12th, and maybe Thursday, August 11th, but I'm not sure about that one yet. So if you're in the neighborhood or you go to the show, stop and say hi. I'll just be wandering around with everybody else. The other thing is, I'm at Farmers Market every Saturday at Ithaca Farmers Market. You can Google the details, come down and see me there. You're welcome to come any week. It's every weekend. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.